maybe most of you were in kindergarten or school. I don't know how old are you guys now? And that we ran for about 2 or 3 years, and for various reasons we can get into the details later, but that failed. Then in the heat of the .com in 1999, I started a mobile company called Mobile, and that company had moderate success, so it went up, very successful. And then there was the 9/11 that you guys know, and everything basically, fell apart, just the whole economy. It was very devastating for a lot of companies, and we luckily didn't get completely wiped out, but we survived. I had to go through a lot of layoffs, and there were a lot of hospitals. And then we came back. So there was a big catastrophic failure because of the whole situation. And I think the key thing was that we recovered from that, and then we again built it, we pivoted it, and we successfully sold it. And then after that, the third company that I did was Playspan. It's generally said the third time is a charm, and that's the third time was a bit lucky. And I kept growing, and I came across this really interesting idea in virtual currencies and virtual goods, and then we started this company in my garage with my son, Playspan. And luckily, the third company was pretty reasonably successful. We sold that to Visa, was acquired for about $240 million cash. And that was about 2 years back, and then I stayed at Visa for about 2 years, so kind of, just getting a break from the startup lifestyle, which is very hard, working 18 hours a day, and just wanted to see the Fortune 500 lifestyle. So I spent about 2 years at Visa, leading the digital wallet business, which was fascinating. A 50-year-old credit card and plastic card company, trying to transform into cloud-based wallet business. And then I left Visa last year in March, and I was recruited by a venture capital firm, Menlo Ventures, who are investors in my previous company, Playspan, and had backed me almost for the entire 5 years, from A down to B down to C down. And so I'm currently at Menlo as a venture partner, and I also incubate my own ideas. So I'm kind of in a very unique spot. I'm not like a full-time 100% VC. Because at heart, I am more of an entrepreneur, and I like to build things from the ground up. So I'm currently also working in building an education software company. So that's quickly kind of the last 15, 18 years journey.
I'm going to ask the first question. So, what were the learnings that you got from your first 2 startups that you applied at Playspan? And also the second question is, you mentioned your son. So how was your son involved in your company?
Yeah, thanks, Raj. So I'll answer the first question. So lessons learned is what is always the most important thing in anything. And every day we learn lessons. I'm still learning. But I think the first company that we have to fold it and close it down, it makes you kind of think very hard, because I think failure is something that we as human beings are not very, naturally we are not wired to take it very easily, right? And so it's actually very helpful to have some failures in life. Number one is that, it's not going to take think through the entire starting to the end and seeing that, what are all the mistakes from, how did we look at the market? We were not thinking big enough, number one. We were very focused. Focus is a good thing, but we were going after a very niche market, and we didn't go after a much bigger part of the market, which could have saved us. The second thing was we were thinking also that was the first company, so I think I had a major problem of thinking small, both in terms of market, but then I didn't take the outside investor money. We were trying to build a business like old-fashioned style, which is saying that I will, we were building product, we were selling CD-ROMs, and we were trying to operate the business through cash flow. And there are some businesses which are good based on operating by cash flow, but there are a lot of businesses that require some capital. So we didn't bring in, good investors, we didn't bring in outside capital, and so we could not invest in people, we could not invest in new products, so just we had the first product, and we were trying to milk that product as much as we could, rather than continuously investing in the next product. So when the computer peripheral market died, and we were just an attachment to the peripheral market, we could not adapt to the new reality of the market, that we invest in the next product. So I think there were some of those key lessons learned from the first company. The second company, I think there were two big issues. One was that because it was a dot-com big, boom going on in 1999, and we were lucky enough to get, the venture capital money. We expanded too fast. So, growing too fast can also hurt you, and that's basically the lesson we learned. And especially if the market kind of completely changes, which happened in 9/11. The second thing I think in that in the mobile area company was that I don't think we did all the hiring. So I think we made a lot of hiring mistakes. And that second mistake is kind of a part of the first mistake, because when you hire very fast and you grow very fast, one is that I was increasing my burn rate very fast before seeing how to where we are leading and where we are getting the growth. But the second thing is when you are hiring very fast, beyond just the burn rate, you're also making a lot of hiring mistakes and you're hiring the wrong people. And we realized that that hiring mistakes comes up when you're trying to get the product initial adoption and also when at the time of growth, both the stages. And then the third thing was that we never had kind of a very strong plan B. So that was also the mistake. Actually, I think both the startups, the first and the second startup, we were so much more confident about our product and what we were doing. And maybe it was just a little bit of an over-passion and over-obsession, which is sometimes typical in a first-time entrepreneur. Because when we are a first-time entrepreneur, we are too much listening to our own self, and we are like very self-obsessed, and we are it's easy to get overconfident. And we think that all of those things are great passion, and passion is a good thing, and we think that kind of an over-obsession will create that contagious enthusiasm. But then what happens is that we have to have enough balance of self-doubt, and without that we never created a plan B. So we never kind of really thought that, okay, what happens if everything that we're trying to do, this product just doesn't get any adoption in the market? Even if it gets adoption, it just doesn't grow. And even if it grows, it just doesn't give you revenue or money. Because all those three things are very different stages. Because you can have a product that can have an adoption, but that doesn't mean that after the initial adoption, it will have growth. A lot of products have good adoption, but they don't just grow after that. So people get very excited with initial adoption, and then after that, the company signals out. And then there is the second big thing that, okay, even if you are able to scale it and grow it, but now you have a lot of companies which fall into the trap where is the revenue, where is the money? Okay? And then there is another stage where, okay, you have growth, your revenue, but you just can't turn profit. Okay, it takes you 10 years, 15 years. And there are very few companies which are lucky, like Jeff Bezos of Amazon, who can keep talking so nicely to his investors and Wall Street, and he never turned the profit for 10 years, and he will still keep putting money in this company, right? But most of us are not as lucky as Jeff Bezos. Nor are we given the God-gifted skill of keeping our investors happy all the time, even if you don't have profits. Okay? So I think all those four things are very, very difficult stages in a company. And I learned the hard way. And the lesson I learned was that you got to have plan B, and maybe in some cases plan C. And creating a plan B or plan C doesn't mean that you do not have the conviction in what you're trying to do. Because sometimes we don't create plan B and plan C because we think that it would be an admission of failure, or that we do not have conviction in what we are doing. And it might send the wrong signal to not only ourselves, but it sends a wrong signal to our team, our employees, our investors, whoever who is working with you. But I think it is very prudent and very, very practical to have a plan B, because anything that you're trying to do, no matter how great a product or a service is, it always requires a lot of changes, a lot of adapting, a lot of thinking, and sometimes, a minor pivot to a major pivot. So pivot is now a nice word used in Silicon Valley, and VCs like that word. And if you use that word, it sounds like you're a smart person, but in the old days, just about 7 or 8 years back, when I was trying to pivot my previous two companies which were not doing well, and I had to go in front of my investors, and I didn't have this nice word, and I had the old-fashioned word, which was saying, geez, what we are trying to do is not working. Okay? We were stupid. This thing just doesn't work. We are failing. Now, when you say those words, basically, if you have investors who do not have a very a strong digestion power, or a maturity to not panic very easily, they run away. And it's a very hard time for an entrepreneur to explain to an investor that why he or she is changing his plan. In fact, it's one of the toughest things, because investors will look at you and say that, okay, you failed, basically. And should we shut down the company? Should we boot you out? Should we throw you out? Okay, it's one of the two things. And both of them are pretty bad. So anyway, so those are all the kind of lessons learned that I think number one is to think big in the space that you are in, so that you know all the options in the market. Number two, not try to grow too fast. Number three, hiring mistakes, which inevitably every company ends up doing, but the less mistakes that you can do, in hiring is the most critical thing in success, because you need the best person with all the best intentions and hard work and talent. But if majority of your team members are not even half as good as you, you just can't do it, right? You can work hard, but you just can't do anything. So hiring mistakes. And number 4, I think having a very practical approach to your product and to your market, and it's a good thing to be obsessed with your product and market, but it's also not good to be over-obsessed and be practical about having a plan B, that if A doesn't work, you go B, and then even when the market comes around, you can always go back to your own. You are so, having a very strong conviction in it. So that's the kind of a little bit long, or maybe answer to the first question, Raj.
No, that made so much sense. So tell us about how you and your son got Playspan going.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's a very interesting story. I've said a pretty long format version in that in the Thai event, so the Thai Silicon Valley has this series called My Story, and I had given a long form version. But the short version is that I think nowadays we learn a lot from people of your age, from teenagers and the youth, because your generation has a very interesting way of how they use technology, because you are what you call a digital millennial, which is you guys have grown up with technology. So so my son, who is now a teenager,